I've been painting for roughly 2 years. I'm no pro in any way, but I do enjoy the hobby. I intend to teach you how I do when I do my cloaks from the beginning with base coating and all the way through highlights and shading. And at the end of the show, I'm going to do some special effects and some tricks, how I do. And I mean, everyone paints in their own way. So some people hopefully will learn and can use and apply it on their own painting. And some people it won't work for, I'm sure. But with that said, it's nice to have you all here. I apologize for my bad pronunciation already, but I hope we'll get through it anyways. If you have any questions, you can please type them in the chat. And my dear assistant here will yell out some questions now and then. Other than that, I think we'll start. So I'm gonna spare you. You don't have to look at me anymore, but my pretty wet palette, which is, well, pretty is probably not the right word, but we're gonna start with applying the colors into the wet palette. And we're gonna do it my way, which you don't have to, but this is how I normally do when I start filling it up. We take black, any black you have, and I'm gonna take more black than I normally do because I don't want the color to run out at this introduction. So take black and add that in the corner. Oh, can you only see the mini?
Okay, if you're only seeing the mini, it's actually going to be on the top bar. There are multiple views. So like you can actually select gallery view or speaker view.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to the guys?
To the people talking in chat.
Yeah. To the attendees, yeah. Now we see it, someone says. And
yep, there you
go. Great, super. So black is applied. I'm over there. And then we take midnight blue, the dark blue. If you don't have the midnight blue, take a dark blue and apply it next to the black.
Also, really quick, I'm going to pause you there. So for those that saying it's went away again, you can actually, not only selecting gallery view, you can do pinning a view. So you can actually like double click a view to make sure it's pinned, or you can use the top right hand side. There's 3 dots and select pin video. Oh, okay. So if you're in the browser, no option to change.
Okay.
So then, let me see. There you go. Okay, is this better for everyone now?
Okay, should I?
Well, I put mini only for now. If the mini only is.
Should I put on? Should I move this one just what? Okay, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a thing then. I'm gonna put the wet palette like here for now. Okay, guys, and we'll fix it somehow. Okay. So I put black on the top left corner over here, and I've took dark blue here, and that's what you guys should do as well. And when you have done that, this is like super much paint now, but it's just to make it easier for you guys to see. I'm gonna apply the bright blue next to there. And the amount of paint I'm putting here would be enough for a lot of miniatures, obviously. And then we take sorry, the dark green, pine green in this case, down here. And then we go for the pale green, the brighter green. Here, everything I'm doing will make sense when we start painting later. So it's kind of a good way to do. And then the yellow, sun yellow in this case, but any yellow if you don't have it. Over there. And finally, we go for white. Like in this corner here, just make sure you have a lot of it. Something like that. So this is the setup to start with. Can you guys see it all? Good, great. I'm just gonna try a thing since we couldn't. If I have a miniature here, yeah, I think I can paint like this. I think it will work. Yeah. Okay, are you ready, guys? You all primed the miniature black, so it should look something like this. It's important to prime, especially when it's metal, obviously, because otherwise you will have a good luck time making the color stick. The setup I've done on the wet palette here is how I do, because I start from the darkest shades to the brightest always when I paint. Some people do the opposite, but that's, I can only teach you how I do. So we're gonna go from there. Usually the green or the blue or whatever color I choose isn't dark enough. So I always add black in the beginning. So that is something we will do as well. So you'll take some of the blue and move it here and some of the black and like mix it 50-50, something like that. If you have a wet palette, it should be good enough. I don't think we need to add water. But once it's mixed, rinse the brush, because you will mess up the brush if you get color down the bristles down here. Once again, if my English makes no sense, you guys have to interrupt and tell me, because yeah, I know it's not good. Anyways, we've mixed it. Now we take loading the brush with this, something like that, good enough. Remove some of the paint on a piece of towel or paper. I've got paper here. I'm just, you know, it shouldn't be like too much. So it's something like this. That's good enough. You see, it's not clogged with a lot of color. What was the black? Or yeah, any black. Ah, thank you. Whoever said my English is fabulous. I don't really believe you, but thank you. Yeah, any black. It doesn't matter which black, as long as it's black. I'm using a matte black. But have everyone blue black here, the dark blue. Now you should just apply it on the miniature. Make sure it doesn't get thick. I pretend. No, I prefer to have it thin layers, so you can see all the details as long as possible, at least. So once the color is gone from the brush, I always take the brush to the water, rinse it off, take away the excess water, load the brush, remove some of the paint so it's not too much, and keep doing that. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're just gonna apply the base coat, really dark blue. It's almost, well, you can see it's blue, but it's not a super difference between the blue and the black. So do that and take your time. It's no rush. I'm feeling I need to drink 50 gallons of water because I'm not used to talking in front of a lot of people like this. I'm thinking we'll just do the backside to begin with, and if there's time, we could do some of the cloak parts at the front as well. But let's just try to do this to begin with, at least. And I'm not sure how long this will take. I said 2 hours, but yeah, it could be faster and it could be slower. So I'm hoping we can finish this one. It doesn't really matter if you happen to have some color here, since it's not painted yet anyway. So. Sometimes you need two coats and 3 coats and so on. Sometimes it's enough with one. I prefer to have the colors a bit thinned out with water, but that doesn't mean it's always the best solution. Everyone paints in different ways, and it kind of depends on what you're going to do as well. And when we come to special effects, you'll see that some of the effects will be with like silly thinned out, like a glaze, and some parts will be like really thick color, like no water at all. So you'll see. I'll try to explain why and how and so on. But have you guys painted it for now? So it's like, looks like this, dark blue. I'm gonna have a sip of water and pretend you guys are done. I see 1, yeah, that's good enough. And 2, yay. Sandy, I have your miniature that I promised to send you here. The eyes, that's yours, Sandy. Okay. Anyways, also you can see when the color is dried or almost dried, it's not as shiny. When it's freshly applied, it will shine a lot, and when it's starting to get dry or is dry, it's not shining very much. So I'm here to give general advice as well. And one thing I realized when I started painting, like I said, I haven't been painting for a long time, but I found out that I wanted to do the shading and the highlighting like really, really well blended without too much of contrast. And I could sit, like 1 hour doing the highlights. And then when I was done, it was something like this, because I couldn't understand that I need more contrast to the highlights because it's a small miniature. You couldn't see the difference unless you had it really, really close. So that was a complete waste of time. So we will not do that mistake now. We'll start with I'll remove that one and do like this. We'll start with the dark blue without any black in it. We had that mix, but we'll skip that and just go to the dark blue. Put some on that brush, remove excess, so it's not too much. Bad focus, something like that. And then we'll just start filling up the cloak, except on the dark, the most dark parts where you want it really dark. It's not going to be as dark in the end as the darkest part, but I'll explain how and why we will do like this. So we have a slightly brighter blue now, and we'll see the difference quite fast, hopefully, when you apply it. So just follow my lead, I guess. This one will be obviously brighter than the darkest shadow because there's no shadows on top of it. Then it's, if you want to be really, you can always have different lightning directions and so on, but in this case it's like no lightning directions. It's in front of it. It will be like that. So I'm keeping this one. This part here will be dark. I'll save that part. And I'll keep on putting paint here. If the paint goes away, refill the brush, rinse with water, get more blue, and apply thin coats. And where it goes down here, I'm going to keep dark as well. And like I said, I want to keep some of the parts really dark. Mainly for a cool effect, I guess. If you would happen to paint where it should be dark, it's not the end of the world. Either you can fix it instantly by just reapplying the old dark paint we have here and just fill back, or we can fix it later. So it's not, no panic mode, just keep on doing this. I'm taking the bigger parts first. This one we want bright, but we want to keep shadows as well here. I'm taking much more color on this one, but doesn't really matter. You can see the difference here, that there's a lot of color, there's not a lot of color. I'll just remove some of it. And one super good thing with doing thin layers later is that you can do a really smooth highlight transition with the same color without adding, you know, white or more bright blue or whatever color you're using. And I'm so sorry. I painted for myself. Sorry, guys. No. So we keep on doing this. Make sure it gets blue. And like I said, I'm not taking the front side. So this is the part we will work with to begin with. And finally, we get it here. And like I said, what's it? Yeah, you can see when it's dried or not. Yeah, one thing as well is when you have thin paint like this, it looks brighter when applying it and it looks darker when it's dried, which is a thing you have to get used to. Oh, and we can't have that super dark here, so we need to put some of the brighter blue here as well. So when this is done, this is going to be tedious at some parts, I'm sorry, but the end result hopefully will make you happier. We're going to do the same thing one more time, at exactly the same parts with the same color. So sorry, one more time. There should be a difference. If you can't see a difference while you do this the second time, you probably had too much color the first time on the brush. And it's no harm done, but it's better not to have it like that, because when we do the final highlights and stuff, that will have a major impact. So just do it again, and you should see that it gets slightly brighter, and do it at the same parts as you did before. That is, save the dark parts. Don't paint on them. If I sound really boring, tell me, because I don't want you to fall asleep. I had a teacher that at high school, I think it was, who spoke at the same voice mode all the time. So people fell asleep all the time, including me. Same. I'm doing it a bit faster now, but I have coffee. Super. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if you're done yet, but yeah, I have coffee as well. I need to fetch coffee later. So this is something, it should be looking like this at the moment. Gevalia. I have Suegas. And you'll notice while we paint later, my thumbnail will be filled with color, because I need to see how it looks, but not yet. So are you guys getting done with the second part? Yes. Yeah. Okay, good. Great progress. Okay, then I'll remove that and I'll move to here. We're gonna do it kind of basic, so it's not too complicated. No, I don't, Ray. I could lie and take a mini I have, but it's not. I could say yes. Once the cloak is done, it's gonna look like this, but no, it's not. No, sorry, I don't. We'll see where we'll end. But I'm gonna do it kind of basic now. So we have this normal blue, or whatever we say. I'm gonna mix that with the bright blue, like 50-50 something. So just, mix it in. Shouldn't be too bright, and it shouldn't be too dark. So yeah, something like that. Rinse the brush. Now the thumb thing will begin. Remove the water from the paper or the towel, or whatever you use. Load the brush, remove the excess color. Should look like something like this. Not too much. Then I tend to use my thumbnail. Sorry, but just to see it's thin enough. Not too thin, but I think I like that. You can see clearly there is color, but clearly you can see it's not too thick. And I'm happy with that, so I'm going to use that. So load the brush, remove some of the paint on a piece of paper or towel. And let's begin. Now we're going to save some parts of the old color since it's starting to be the highlight part. So I'm gonna be like saving, I don't know how much, how to explain in measurement, but if you can see, there is some of the old painting we did, the blue is there, just a small line. Do that on all the places, so you fill up the new thing, but save some of the part where you had the darker blue for now, because we want to have it like a good effect. And try not to have too much color. As you can see, there's a major difference at the moment. Which is good, because you can always go back and forth with the shading and the highlighting. The point is we want to see where it can end. So we can see the progress. That way it makes it more fun to paint. But like I said, save on the edges on all spots of the old color. If you do what I did just now, take water on the brush and remove it. That is, if it starts to get clumsy. That's the good part when you have the thinned out color. And if we pretend I'm doing like this, and it's like, okay, that's not great, right? I don't want it to look like that. I just take water on the brush, clean brush, and I do like this. And it's magic, it's gone. Sadly, I can't paint there just instantly since it's water, but it's gonna dry out kind of fast. And then I can reapply the color I wanted. Okay, that's just a tip. Obviously, you have to be fast, because if you wait too long, that won't work. So start painting here instead. Man, guys, I ate too much. I just want to lay down in the sofa and not talk, at least. Yeah, there's some water here now, but it will be okay. That part will be gonna look a bit strange for me now, but I think I can manage to save that later. So no one is perfect while painting, I believe. So I mean, everyone does mistakes back and forth. At least I do. Guessing most of the people painting does. But there's never anything you can't rescue. So okay, like I said, this one I kind of messed up with the water, but we're gonna do another coat with the exact same colors. This is like the basic, just to get where we want some of the highlights. Then we're gonna do something else to make it. Don't know if I have any example, but we're gonna make it look better, obviously. But we go for the same color again, the mix we have. Remove the excess paint, and same thing as before. Save some of the earlier paint just on the edges. And I mean, with clothes, with everything you paint, you can't do this on everything, obviously, because sometimes you want really bright edges, like on a sword, you want bright edges and so on. But in this case, it works doing like this so far. I just want you guys to do great cloaks. You need, yeah, you can see where I'm painting, right? You need to paint some here as well. And now it's starting to be like really insanely dark at some places, as you can see, and that's like unnatural how dark it is. We're gonna fix that as well. I can see, sadly, it's kind of wet here, so. I told Margaret earlier, I think it was last night, that sometimes I paint a cloak like this, and then I decide to go for some kind of effect or freehand or whatever, and it ends up not being blue at all. So I've just done the shading completely in vain. Sadly for you guys, we don't know how this will end. It could be a good blue and we'll end up with something else, but that's okay.
There's nothing sad about ending up with something different. It can always
No.
look good.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. Have you got so far, guys? Or are you still painting? There's no rush, seriously, at all. I mean,
I'm gonna guess that they're all busy brushing away at a cloak.
And that's, and like I said, if I'm going too fast, please tell me, because this is meant to be like no rush at all. So, well, one is done. That's good. I'm gonna drink some water and sing a song. Oh, done. Okay, well, that's good. A lot of people seems to getting great. I'm gonna just drink water. That means I'm still sitting here, obviously. But... Excellent, guys. Most people want, no, most people, that's wrong, sorry, but a lot of people likes to have things pop, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna aim for that as well. Make a popping cloak. Thank you, Carol. Really kind words. Not sure if I believe it though, but it's kind. Okay. Well, we've done just a fast recap now, right? Black with the blue. That was the first thing we did, right, guys? Then we took the dark blue without and black and did 2 layers. And then we did this mix and did 2 layers. Now we're gonna go for, I think this is a bit too bright, actually. So we have to mix this one with that one, okay? So do that, like 50-50. You can mix it down here. If it looks like the same brightness, you need to add more. Obviously, you can always drag down it. The good thing is we still have we have all the mixes here. So if we in some way messes up our painting, we can always go back and just catch the shading we want. But we're going to use this part now, the slightly brighter one. Fill up your brush, remove some of the paint on a piece of paper or something, because it's always too much. Use your thumb if you want to see that it's not too thick. If it is too thick, by the way, if you can't see your nail through it at all, that's almost like this at the moment. Add water. Add water to this part, like one drip, like I'm doing now, because it was too thick for me. And just stir it around, and then remove the paint, and then try it again. That's much better, because I can still see something through, not as that one. Okay. Like I said, everyone works different. This is my way, and I'm not saying it's the best or anything, obviously, but I can't teach you anything I don't know. So now we take this color. I'm not sure how I'm gonna explain it, so just look, I guess. Because now I'm not gonna just keep on doing it like we have done it the whole time, because there are some parts I want to be well, more brighter than others, I guess. So I'm gonna do like this in this case. So far it's I'm keeping some of the old here, but here I'll keep in the middle of this part here. I don't want as much as before. Yeah, I must admit I'm not painting like this normally, how it looks. My arm is like in a really not comfortable angle. I'm removing paint now. It's just so you guys can see. So, yeah. Now I've done the lines here with the mix of color we used. I'm gonna let that ride. It's gonna look kind of wrong, okay? But don't mind. Just trust me on this one, because we're gonna go back with the same color the second time, like we did with other colors, and then we're gonna paint the whole area, and then it hopefully will make sense of what I just did. So it looks like this. Try to do something similar. If you happen to mess up in any way, try the brush with just water and, rinse it away fast. If it doesn't work, you have the old colors here, and just be calm and just remove it and add the shadow. So we have it here as well. Then it's also important how you apply the color with the brush. You should be really gentle applying it. Most of you probably know it, but if you're pushing the brush towards the miniature, that will have an effect that's not good. You should be like stroking really gentle. The miniature will love you more, and also the paint and the paint job. So here is the same thing. I'm gonna clumsy not doing it there, and then I want it to become a bit right through here. Same thing here. It's missing a part here, but we'll do the same color, another layer, and it will make sense. Those things are practice things, I guess. I'll gladly help any one of you guys if you want ever need an opinion. If I can help you, of course, just write on me on Facebook or wherever, Discord. So, well, going back here on this part, the reason I beg you to just follow my lead is because my English isn't good enough to explain. So, something like that. This is just to make it not this part. Actually, I have to that shadow is like humongous, it won't work, so we'll fix that. If it looks like that for you guys, you need to fix it as well, that shadow, but we'll keep on here first. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. I'm not sure if I believe any of you guys, but you're obviously kind, and that's very nice. Kind people is yay. Oh, sorry. I did. Yeah, as you could see, I kind of made a mess, but it's okay now. The water trick works. Yeah, I was thinking about switching to Swedish if you guys didn't like my English, and that would probably be harder. That's kind words. I'm not magical painting. There was a question and answer thing. I don't know. I'm gonna check that after this one here. Tack så mycket. You do the same thing here. Keep the middle part without this new shading. Sorry, over here. Can you see? Thank you, Elizabeth. Makes no point showing you guys, right? If it's not in front of the camera. Sorry. Okay, so it should roughly look something like this. I need to fix this part before we keep on going, because it's easy. Sometimes you paint and you think, yeah, it's starting to turn out what you want to, and then a thing like this shade here will really mess up the end result. So we're gonna, yeah, great. I'm glad you're having fun. I'm happy. At least if one of you guys are happy, I'm happy. Seriously, man. If one of you guys learn something, I'm super happy. We're gonna remove the shading here, and then we can have some questions if there are questions.
There's one question, but yeah, I'll wait till you're ready.
Yeah, we're gonna take the semi-dark part here. And make sure it's not too thick. You can see it's really watery, but that's on purpose. I'm still gonna remove a lot of the paint on the paper. And then I'm gonna put it on the shadow here. So it goes like this, if you can see here. I still want to keep some of the shadow, but I don't want to keep it the whole way. And that looks a lot better already, if you can see it. Makes so much more sense. Okay, what was the question? Or let's see.
Okay, so the question is, Sandy Emmons asked, so can you explain what type of effect you're trying to achieve with the blues?
Okay, well, Sandy, this is purely making a cloak. This has nothing to do really with effects. It's just a nice shading tutorial, I guess, or highlighting tutorial. How to make a cloak look, kind of interesting in a way, I guess. When we're done with that part, we go to part 2, I guess, and that will be adding effects and freehand tips and tricks, if that makes sense. Because just general freehand, if I would start trying to paint like a dragon or something, that's mainly just practice painting stuff. But I can show you, I can give you advice of how to make the drawing easier, but I can't teach you like in a fast way how to paint a dragon, for example. So some effects and freehand is going to be after the cloak is finished. Yeah, Chris, that makes a huge difference in the end, actually, because otherwise it's going to be really flat. It's going to be like we could do just highlight, and nothing else, but that would be kind of dull looking at. So we've done this. We're going to use the same color one more time, but this time we're going to make sure it's thin as well, of course. We can load the brush, remove excess, try our great thumb. It looks good. You can see through it. I'm gonna take more though. This time we're gonna paint all over. Keep the shadows on the sides still, so you don't paint over that. But on the other parts where we first time only took on the sides here, we're gonna take on the whole part. So just you can see here. That means it should, if done correctly, enlighten brighten up everything a bit, but it should still be some shading in the middle, but not as, you can see it's not as big difference, hopefully. And same here. I'm using the same color we had the last time. The not complete blue, because we haven't used that one, but the one we mixed. Daniel, are you following me? Yeah. Great. So you use the same color you used. We can say that almost every step we will do is using the same color 2 times. Okay. So this is the second time we use it, but the first time we kept some parts. This time we're going to paint over it. And this time I'm going to go down here as well. I actually think we'll use this one 3 times. But anyways, well, kind of do what I'm doing, if that makes sense. So, and here we had the same thing, but we're going to take the whole part anyways. So it will be like auto smoother. I mean, it starts to build up like a good it's starting to look like a good cloak. There are a few more steps. I don't know. Oh, Jesus Christ, time is running by. Well, that's a good part. I was kind of afraid we wouldn't have anything else to paint by now, but we still have a bit more to do. So it should be looking something like this for you guys when you're done. If you're still painting, paint on. Yeah, good. I want to see your work, guys. That's the important part.
I mean, if you guys want to, you can always post your progress in the Discord. And David, you could always check that too to help out.
Yeah, that would be nice. And like I'm thinking after the class, if you have pictures or questions or anything, please feel free to catch me. I'll be on the Discord for at least 1 hour at least after the class. So, yeah, that's the point, Danny. But we need to make it a bit more alive, I think, right? I mean, there are so many techniques you can stipple and you can do texturing. But I'm not gonna focus on doing that this time. This time I just want you guys to build up in a calm way and a good way how to do. We could call it, basic shading, highlighting, but just by doing what we're doing now, you can apply on everything on a miniature, and it can look really good. And then if you want to do other stuff, well, that's another class, I guess, or another video you can look at. There are tons of videos out there, I'm sure. So we're here. Now we're gonna go for the bright blue. This one. This is scary how bright it is. I'm adding water to this one quite a lot, actually, because I want to be able to do many different layers. I'm just gonna see. This brush is like, that's the fun part. I mentioned you needed two new brushes. I forgot to buy 2 new brushes for myself, so I have old crappy brushes. But I want it to be like almost milky when you put it on the thumb, like this, because it's so much more bright than the other stuff we've done. But we want to use it. So thin out the blue paint with a lot of water. Try it on a nail, any nail you have, and see that it's really thin. Remove the excess paint and follow me. Now this we're going to do a few times, and this will make the difference of the whole cloak, I think. Whether it will pop or not. We'll start here. Every brush stroke you take with this will make quite a big difference. So if I do 1 time like this, that's fair enough. If I do 2, it's going to get brighter. 3, it's going to get brighter. So that way I can kind of control how bright I want it. And that's because it's so thinned out that every brush stroke leaves, well, an amount of the color, but not the full amount. If I would have it without water, I wouldn't be able to do this. So that's why I've thinned it out so much. I can do many strokes. So if you just do strokes like this, and you can see how I apply it, like with thin strokes like this. I'm thinking if we should do a spirit thing later, and that's basically the same thinking like we're doing now. So you see it's quite a lot brighter here than the other parts. Are you guys following me, or I'm just sitting talking gibberish? One at least is still alive, right?
You've got more than one.
Yeah, good. So it's really thinned out and it's really bright, as you can see, guys. But it's every stroke you do that will make it brighter. And since it's so much water, guys, it looks much brighter when it's wet than when it's dried. So sometimes you might get scared because it looks too bright, but then when it's dried, it's much less bright. So don't be that afraid, since it's really wet at the moment. So just gently strokes. Don't push the brush towards the mini. Just do slight no, witchcraft, Elizabeth. And like I said, try to keep some of the old brighter paint, but it's still darker, obviously, so it doesn't look too bright next to it. And that's really poor English. I'm gonna say that one sentence again. Try to have some of the old paint, the oldest highlight, stay behind, so it still looks like a good transition. So, as you can see, that this part is way too bright, but we will go back to the older colors later and fix it, so it doesn't really matter. And try just following, taking my lead here, I guess. Every stroke will make it brighter, so it's okay to just push a lot of strokes if you want to get it brighter. If you're uncertain, just do one brush and wait and then take the next. That I'm doing it fast isn't something you have to do. It's just, in this case, I do. Yeah, yeah, holding the breath is always great. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you guys with typing, but it feels kind of strange sitting talking, and you know, if you guys would have microphones or anything, I'm sure you could have said yes or no. So, starting to look cooler, right? I mean, like better. So do that, and when you're done, yeah, normally I hold my breath as well, actually. Ah, see you, John. Thank you for attending. Thank you. Yeah, holding the breath is a good thing to do when you need to do focused stuff. I always do that when I do freehand. Makes a big difference. Yeah, I'm not gonna live stream ever again. I think this is the one thing. I like painting in painting groups. You know, when there's like 4 or 5 people and you talk and stuff. That's fun. The matter of spreading a bit more gradually. Well, thank you, everyone, and Daniel Webster. Like I said, we could paint in Zoom or anything. That would be cool, and that goes for everyone here. I mean, Zoom or Discord, just talking and painting. That's nice. And I could, if anyone would be interested, I could teach you further, more, I guess. But I'm just sorry, guys, but someone said something about it was. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'll gladly paint with you guys, really, and I would gladly help you if I can, doing like this, but I'm not gonna in smaller groups for sure, but not in front of a lot of people. We should get on. We're gonna do this one more time, and then we're going for some effects, because I'm guessing some people want to see some tips and tricks. So we're gonna take. Sorry, are you going to say something?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had one thing. There's a question in the chat. Olaf had asked, I have gentle ripples in the cloak, not as harsh as yours. Is it just a matter of spreading out the blend more gradually?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Is it?
The cloak is less folded than yours.
Okay. Okay, so you're not using the same. Yeah, I have to. You're not using the same miniature then, Olaf?
Oh, he posted it in the Discord.
No. Okay. Well, yeah. Then depending on how much those are the shadows, then you should have less shadows. Yeah. Do you understand, Olaf? If it's not folded enough, then you can't have too dark shadows, because that would be strange. I'll look at it after the video, Olaf. Yeah, that's the dark part. Then it's okay. Just blend it with the not so dark part. So not so many dark areas. Okay. Just so people can keep on painting. We're going for this one again, the right part. With water in it. Remove excess, make sure it's not like that, because that's is not enough water. So more water, and make sure it's better. Yeah. So what I'm always looking at is if it's too much color when I apply it on the thumb, it's not enough water, and I always apply water. Okay. And we're gonna do the last thing here, and then after that we're gonna go for effects. Oh Jesus, that's too much color. Like on the brush. So I forgot to do what I'm telling you guys to do. It's remove color on the towel and make sure it's not. That's good. Okay. And like I said, there's a lot of water, so it looks really bright when we do it, but it's gonna not look that bright when we're done. This is like the final effect on the cloak. Not effect, sorry, but the final shading. Then we go to the effects. I think I have a name on the Discord, right? Or am I wrong? On the Discord, there's a teacher tab where my name is. If you want to, you could post it there and we could talk about it. And like I said, yeah, Artist Alley, that's the name, that's correct. So I'm just more or less taking the same parts we did the first time with the bright part and applying it. So it should be something like this. I'm aware it's depending on the amount of strokes with the brush, obviously. So, and that's also something you learn, I guess, get used to do. But it should be something around about this look on your cloaks. Okay. And if it doesn't, it's all right. It's not the end of the world. Do you guys, I'm sure if you paint, keep on painting, but do you want to have, I know people want different stuff, but do you want to have like a soul? I don't know how to pronounce that even. Like a soul thing? Or do you want to have glowing stuff or souls as one? Souls? And glows as someone else? Souls. Well, we can have both. Yeah, we could do both. There's time enough. We can do. We'll start with the glow, and then we'll go for a soul. Okay. So, yeah, we have green and yellow and white on the wet palette, right? So we'll start with just thinking. Yeah, we'll do some orbs. Why not? I mean, what cloak doesn't have orbs in it with souls? This is like a practice thing, right? I mean, it's not doesn't have to make sense, I guess. So we're gonna do orbs underneath here in a sweet line, I guess. And then I'm gonna try to make a few souls here and here, so you can try doing. Okay. Doesn't make any real sense, I guess, but never mind. Start with this green, the bright green. It's good enough. It shouldn't be too watery, but it shouldn't be too thick either. But in my case, the green is good. I haven't applied any water except the wet palette. Now we're gonna do the orbs, the dots. And since it's not completely thick, it's not going to be filling the whole place, but that's good. Just do a few dots, you know, put the brush, do a small movement like this. If you would happen to get too much, or the dot would be like insanely huge of some reason, just go back to the old color here and paint over it, okay? It's not the end of the world. But just try to do about the same size with the green here. And we will make it glow soon enough. And we'll have a glowing soul as well, Cat. So it's not perfect in any way, but there's green dots. They're not perfectly filled. They're kind of transparent. And that's okay. Now we're going to use the white. And if you've done something similar, what I did with the green, they should be like bigger than the brush. I did, you know, small movements on each green dot. So you take the white, you don't apply any more water. And just, this is pure white. And as you see on my thumb, it's quite thick. Now you try to do a dot inside of each green circle, okay? So just let it be thick. Hopefully you can keep some of the green you did earlier. And then again, it's not the end of the world. This is just like guidelines for yourself. And this is gonna look like really bad at the moment, but that's fine. Because we'll do the magical trick later. Oops. So, horrendous, but that's what I said. It would be like that. Remember what I said, if you messed up too much, go back to the old thing. Like here, where it's dark, I just paint back. How will a yellow outline a green affect? Well, yellow is a tricky thing, actually, because the pigments in yellow is often very transparent, while on the green it's not as transparent. If you ever try to paint something yellow, you can't just use yellow. You need some base coat or some other thing. So I tend to, in this case, we're going to use yellow later to make it shine more, but or glow more, but we will mix it with the green. But you can try it. I'm not saying that it won't work, but I'm saying there's a risk it won't make it glow enough. A pop, yeah. So we have these white dots. That's really clumsy made at the moment, but it's okay. Yeah, go with the green. We're gonna go, yeah, try with the green if you have. We did green, and then we did white dots within the green, like almost at least. Now we're gonna go back to the green again. This green. We're gonna add some water because we don't want it to be too thick. Here's my thumb. As you can see, it's good enough. Remove some of it. This is thinned down green. We're gonna apply on every dot, and we're gonna twirl. Is that a word even? Move it around like this. Quite a lot, because you want it to be way more around, because that's where the shine will be. So you're gonna do that on each dot, on top of the dot and around the dot. And every time you do this, there will be slightly more green. So say you do this 3 times, 4 or 5 times a dot. When its color is gone, you have to take new, obviously. Just make sure this is like a glaze, okay? But this is how you get a shine effect almost for free. So when you do stars or anything like that, this is perfect way to do it. Obviously, you can't have that big dots as we have now, but this is more for you guys to see what it does. You can go back again and do it one more time. And hopefully you will see a difference the second time, at least, if you couldn't see it the first time. Can you see it? I'm hoping you can see it when you do it as well. Not just on my. Yeah. Well, Elizabeth, when we're done this, we can always go back. And if you want one of them to pop more, we'll make it pop more. This is more, yeah, it starts to glow, as you can see. So we could do 2 of them glow more, just for an example, Elizabeth. If you take green and add white, it gets not as strong green, if that makes sense. It gets brighter, but it doesn't get the intensity of a good green. That's why we have yellow as well for the green. So if I want to make this green to be a strong green, I take this, I add yellow, and that way I get a strong green. I can add white now as well if I want to make it even more, but I'm fine with this. And that's what you should do as well now, guys, by the way. Add like 50% of the green, 50% of the yellow, and mix it together. I'm gonna use another brush because the one I'll use this with a slightly better tip, because this brush is like dead now. So take the new mix. This has the pop factor or after. Now it's time to hold your breath, by the way. Now we want to have it in the middle of the glowing parts, okay? And that's just like gently touch it in the middle of each. Jesus, I really need to buy new brushes. There are a complete mess. But you want to just do slight dot on each, inside of each of the brighter parts. And if you want someone to glow more, you add white to this and some yellow. And you can see if I can show you. Nothing you have to do really. I think the main thing here is just how you can do an really easy glow effect. Does that make sense? It's not, you can do lines, you could do text, fantasy text of some kind, the same way as you did with this. Just change out the dots to whatever you do and do the same thing. And if you want the real you can possibly see that it's shining a bit more. Okay, did that make sense, guys? Did you understand what I did? Okay, because if anything is unclear or you have questions, please ask. This is, I mean, everything I do, you can do much better and refine, of course. This is just hopefully an easy way for everyone to apply it. And then you can do this a lot better, obviously. Okay, good. Great. So mine looks interesting, not as clear, but well, that's not necessarily true, Danny, but I mean, like I said, everything is practice. And when I say it should be really watery, I mean, that's how I say it's watery. It's not so easy to explain, I guess. And I mean, it's just try experimenting. But we're gonna do a soul as well, since you guys wanted that. And the way I well, in a normal case, Janice, I would. In this case, I really didn't. But if I would have done this, I would probably made them slightly darker and probably add some OSL, since they're shining on some parts here. But that's like, we don't really have the time to do that. So in this case, I haven't. I've just put the same dot type everywhere. Okay. Yeah, great. So the souls, that was the one sick idea I got, I think 1 year ago. But it turned out kind of cool and was fun. And it's all layers. It's thinned out colors, really thinned out. and you just, it's a hell of a lot of strokes, which you build up the ghost or the demon or whatever you soul or whatever you're wanting to do. I'm thinking we could just start with the soul effect without making a soul. Just we'll do it like this area here. So what you do is, I'm going to show you the palette again. We start with the darkest green. We're going to do it in green. You can use any color except blue, because that would, well, that would work as well, but we'll do it in green. So the darkest green, just make sure it's a lot of water in it. So apply a few drops of water. It's really hard to show here, obviously, but if you just dip the brush into the water and put it here and do that a few times, 2 times at least. Do the same thing with the next green, this one. So just remember there's a lot of water. So this is thinned out paint deluxe. Could actually be more. Yeah, it's not as thin as a glaze, but almost. Obviously, it's not just. If it would have been as thin as glaze, that would take a long time. So, how I do is I start with the darkest first, the darkest green, and then I'm thinking how to explain this. I do strokes, okay, thin strokes. I kind of work fast when I do this, because I want it to be kind of wet all the time, or at least a long time. So I'm just gonna show you here. At start, I'm just gonna do like this. Let's see if you can see. So my feeling here is, we're gonna paint over there. It's going upwards from, I don't know, down here. So sadly, you have to paint over your beautiful cloak at the moment. It's gonna look something like this. Okay, then I rinse the color. Then I take and mix some of the water here. This is super watery, okay? Then I do thin strokes. It's barely visible, I think, for you guys. I can see it, but I'm not sure if you can see it very well. This is the main part I'm gonna do here. You can see it, that's good. So now I take the really bright green. So this is just the name of the game, is a lot of layers back and forth. So this is really bright. It's gonna look horrible to start with, but you just have to believe in me in this case. And as you can see, oh no. Like I said, it looks really horrible, right? But if everything goes as it should, which is my plan, it's okay. I don't know, we should have some kind of thing here, I guess. I'm starting ahead. Do something like that. It's gonna be a head here later. So then I go back to the midtone. Let's do the same thing with layers. And the bright. The problem with this one is it takes some time before it turns out to something. So it's at the moment it's like it just looks really I don't know what it looks like, to be honest, but it will become better as you go on. So we're gonna do the head here a bit brighter. And then we're gonna try to make it like ghostly as we go. Yeah, at the moment it has no real glow in it. But it will be. We can start taking the really bright part. Same thing there, it should be like watery. Like a lot of water. And like I said, the face is just kind of the shape. Cheers. Hopefully we can make it work. It's not always it works, but as you go on, you see I'm doing like misty things. Do you understand what I mean when I say that? Sorry for the bad English. Really shameful. But each layer I've done before and each layer I put on now makes the whole thing. So even if it looks like crap, basically, at one point, it makes sense when you apply it. So it's starting to be more, misty. I'm going to do another bright layer. And we're going to start, just for the fun of it, filling up the head. I'll do something with the head, obviously, so you can do as well. So crying soul of some kind. No, that's fun. Yeah, I'm sorry if I took a long time reaching this, but when I talked to John from the start, I was like, I want to teach something that everyone can tag along on, and I'm guessing this is possibly nothing everyone can tag along on, but the cloak part could be like that. So this is like, arms and stuff. Thank you. Not sure if I can agree yet, but it could turn out cool. I'm mixing a dark thing here now with the green. That is black with green. Same time, it's still thinned out. But I'm thinking we need to have some kind of expression. And also, remember, we still have all the blue colors here. If you want to shrink it or something you don't like, you can always just apply that on the part you didn't like, and that way it's saved. So we're gonna not use this brush. teacher says you get 2 new brushes, so you're prepared, and forgets to get new brushes for himself. That's good. Okay, so it's a face. It should have. I tend to do it really simple when it's sold, especially at the beginning. You can always add something to make it look more real, I guess. I did, if I have time, I will show you the latest I did. I have, if I have more time, I can, do shading and stuff on the souls, like doing faces, like looks more like human stuff and so on. But that takes more time, obviously. We don't have that time. But it's fun doing, actually. I think everyone can do it, and it's nice. But we're gonna do a cute soul in this case. Could have a open mouth. So this is dark green. We're just adding here. And the magic will be soon. So we're gonna add some white to this. Okay. So it's really bright. Still thin layers. And still do strokes. You need to make sure they're visible strokes, if that makes sense. So the mist effect still is there. Okay. This is like really bright, but it's okay. It's a bit thick color as well, but time's running out, and I want to show you how you do so it gets like the soul thing. We're not there yet, so like everything I said, it's just redoing that with layers and stuff. But when you're done, and it's not as well clumsy, if you may, like it is now, we do a glaze to tie it all together. In this case, we're gonna do a glaze with yellow and green. More, I would say a bit more yellow than green, but you mix it together, it will be green. And if you don't know what a glaze is, it's really thin. If you know what a glaze is, well, it's really thin. So this should be, it's not thin enough, actually. I think it will do. And then you just put it all over the miniature. Not the miniature, sorry. All over the soul. And a bit about outside where you painted earlier. That way it will start getting that glowy feeling that you don't have to make it as strong glow as this one, but I want it to glow. And as with the dots, more or less, you can make it a bit outside. It's a neat trick, it really is. And and you can always go back and add, but it makes it more tied together. And if you want it to have more of a glow, you shouldn't use the same mixture. You could have a glaze with a darker green, where you can keep on making it outside where you did before. So it has a more glowy effect, but not as bright, because that would be stealing away too much. Yeah, it's not the best of the souls, really, sadly, but it's because of the time I'm getting. I'm getting tired.
Fair. I was to say you have plenty of time, and if you want to run late, you can run like 10 minutes late if you really wanted.
I'm thinking like it's the same principle. The thing you did there, this is when you have more time and more what's it called? Well, if you want to do it more careful, I did the same thing on the eyes and that part, like with this one, but this is obviously more clumsy. I'm just gonna do examples. The glowing dots over here is the same principle as I did with that one, but it's a lot smaller dots, obviously. But that's the same thing, really. But obviously, it's not green; it's some kind of purple, whatever. But you can do it like that. So you do the same thing, but smaller white dots, and then you do the same principle, as you did with the dots over there. And like I said, the souls is the same thing, really. I've done the same thing here, but I have had a more of an idea, obviously, of what to paint. But it's the same thing I've done. Okay, so and it's better here, of course, because I spent more time. So that's that.
Well, we do have a question if you're willing to answer it.
Yes, please.
Would the Reaper clear paint create a similar glowing effect?
Reaper clear paint, I don't know really. The only Reaper paints I have is the ones I've used here for the class. So I'm sadly I can't answer that. I have a lot of different colors at my disposal. Yes, I do, Sandy. Not always, but it's a good point, because if you can see the blue on this cloak, Sandy, and everyone else that's listening still, I did pretty much that highlight, and I applied ink for this one, the shoulder pad here, if you can see, and you can see it's quite a big difference, if that's focused, and that's because of the ink, really. So if I wanted that kind of blue for that cloak, I would add ink, glazed, that is thinned out blue ink. But that one, which is yours, is no ink. But it's a good tool. If you, I mean, we could, just for the fun of it, I could add ink on a part to see. That's the ink I'm using in this case, Daler Rowney. But I'm sure every ink works. So it's like, yeah, it should be enough. We shall see how it turns out. I'll add some water. Also, you can mix in the ink to the color and get a different take as well. The careful, not clear. Oh, could be. But we're gonna, I mean, we'll see what it does. And if you need to remove the, but you can see it's quite a big difference, right? It's more vibrant when you apply ink, if you ask me. And then the problem sometimes with ink is that it could be shiny. It shines more than without, but then you could varnish it with matte varnish, and it removes, so it doesn't shine. So there's yeah, it's a good effect. And sometimes you want it to be like intense blue. I have a good example, and sadly it's not a Reaper miniature, but I'm going to show you anyways. If I can find it. Sorry. But this is, I did a metal thing with ink. And you can see it goes to a nice shine. Obviously I did highlights and stuff as well, but it's, yeah, it's good. So but I mean, yeah, inks are nice. It's a nice tool, really is. So you should get that as well to your what's it called? Armory. Well, lack of better words. But like I said, if you guys want to paint together or anything, I'm happy to do that. If you want advice or anything, I'll be on Reaper Discord now and then. And like I said, I'm not professional, absolutely not. But I'm willing to teach you the things I can teach, if I can teach you anything. I'm just happy I survived this.
You did fantastic.
Was different just sitting and talking for, yeah, well, talking with myself, I guess.
You were talking to more than just yourself. You were doing a fantastic job of responding to comments, by the way.
Thank you. Well, yeah. I hope you learned something, guys, really. And like I said, please, if you have pictures, I would love to see them. If you want feedback or anything, I'll obviously give you that. And if you want to hang out, I would love to do that.
Well, it seems like they're ready to do that in Discord already.
Yeah.
If you wanted to start, they got a lot in there already.
Is there a code? Oh, thank you very much, guys. But
well, class code, Amanda, is that what you mean for like a Discord thing?
Flow code.
Let me go check with John. You guys keep having fun talking.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you, guys. Really, I'm really happy you learned something. Hopefully, I don't know what codes we're talking about, but he's coming back. It is really, it's a simple thing, really. If you know what you're doing and how to do it, I think everyone I'm sure everyone can do it. So just, I mean, keep on doing what you're doing, and please share your progress. Yeah. And like I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but if there's anything, just write to me on Discord or Facebook, and I'll do my very best to help you guys. Waiting for the code thing. That. Yeah, but yeah, if I ever would do that again, I would be prepared, because honestly, I didn't prepare because I felt like I don't know how to prepare. But if I do that, I will have a plan, I think. But I'm really happy you guys took your time to look and paint along. Super nice of you guys.
Really fast, there is no codes, as I'm told by John, for this class at least. But I'm glad you guys are here and enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So there's no code. Sorry. Yeah, I remember John asked me earlier. So it's my fault, guys, because I kind of forgot about it. It was emojis, right? The codes, I think.
Yeah, I was to unlock a emoji for the server.
Yeah, next year, Danny, if I can, I'm gonna be visiting Reaper instead, and that way I can do a class, because I would love to really show in real life how to do the stuff, rather than sitting like this. So I'm gonna go to USA Reaper headquarters.
Have fun here in Texas.
Yeah. So that's but that's a future thing. But I'll be on Discord or one of the painting groups, perhaps. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good day, I guess, or night in my case.
Well, yeah, for you, midnight now.
Yeah, it is.
Do you want me to close down the class, or do you want to just keep it up for a little longer?
No, you can close it down, and I mean, if people want to type and stuff, I'll be on Discord.
Okay.
Have a great night, guys. Thanks again.
It was nice to meet you, David. Hopefully you have a great night.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. And thank you for your help, mate. Really.
Oh, no problem. I mean,
I really appreciate it.
Well, since it's your first time, I figure
Yeah.
I should help you as much as possible.
I really appreciate it, Paxton. So big thank you to you. Well, we'll keep in touch, I guess, somehow.
Yeah, and Varsågod.
Beg your pardon?
Varsågod?
Yes, that's you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Take care, my friend, and say hi to the guys at Reaper.
Oh, I will. I'll let them all know.
Take care. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.